for the years 2017, 2018, and 2019. And I would like to take this opportunity on behalf of the committee to welcome each and every one of you to the Fpac session. My name is Honorable Alajimbo, officially the vice chair of the committee, but today I'm chairing in the absence of the chair. And then we're going to make some introductions, and then, you can just them to start the introduction. Do you have? Okay, yeah, you can start from there. Yeah.
Yes, I am Honorable Omar Dabo, co-opted member.
Good morning. My name is Honorable Faticham. Now for Parliamentary constituency and a member to this committee. Thank you.
Good morning. I'm Honorable Kewalang Fufana, nominated member and a member of this committee.
Subject matter specialist. Subject matter specialist.
I do. This one, how much fun that was? That's the activity report. That's the activity report.
Summary.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you very much. And then here we have our interns from the University of the Gambia. You are all welcome. We are going to start to take a look at the activities of the Gbos for the 3 years, that is 2017, 2018, and 2019. But before we start, we would like to understand this from the board chair. Why are these accounts late? Because the 2017 is late by 5 years. The 2018 is late by 4 years. The 2019 is late also by 3 years. And we have not received 2020 and 2021. What is the issue?
Which one are we looking at? 2019. This is 2020. Yeah. 2018, 2019. Yeah, combine it. Combine it. Yes, yeah.
Thank you very much, Honorable Chair. My understanding is that Gbos was in a class basis of accounting up to 2016 and was advised to shift to accrual base in the same year. So the National Audit Office then took on the responsibility to do the audit of our finances on this new basis. This is why we had this backlog, and now you have this consolidated report for those 3 years. Normally when we prepare our activity reports, we cannot submit them independently of the financials. So even if our activity reports are completed and we don't have the financial, we cannot submit, as happened this year when we submitted the 2019 and were told to hold on until we have the financial finished. This is the reason why we have this backlog of submission.
Yes, thank you. I'm not sure if the change in your accounting method would actually warrant that delay for 5 or 6 years. Right now, as you speak, have you submitted? Are you ready with your account for 2020 and 2021? Are the accounts ready?
No, the account is not yet ready, but we are on the finalization of the accounts and to be submitted to the National Audit Office for audit.
Yes, this is exactly what I'm saying. So the accounts, even for 2020 and 2021, they are not ready. And this is a breach of the 1997 Constitution, Section 175. And where we're going to have to give a timeline after we're going to discuss with the members. We're going to have to give a timeline on which you have to submit 2020 and 2021. Because Parliament cannot be sitting and waiting for institutions to behave any way they want as far as public money is concerned. You have been given a timeline on which you're supposed to prepare accounts and submit to the National Audit Office, and those timelines must be adhered to. So going forward, before you leave today, we're going to give you a time line on which 2020 and 2021 should be submitted to the National Assembly as the quickest possible time. So we'll give you a timeline. So, and then going forward, we don't expect any institution to be late. I think we had this discussion. I'm not sure if the Statistician General was around when we called meeting of all the institutions. That was June, July of this year, where we are very clear that going forward, we're not going to allow any institution to delay our work. Delaying our work is a contempt of the National Assembly. And this parliament is not ready to take that anymore. Do your work and then submit, and then we do our work. So because if you don't, you're going to delay and delay everybody else. You know. So let's ensure that we abide by these dictates of the Constitution and the Public Finance Act of 2014. Thank you very much. Yes, members, if you have questions going forward, we can check. They've also submitted their activity report. If you don't have it, it's labeled the Gambia Bureau of Statistics Summarized Activity Reports 2017, 18, and 19. Yeah. Okay, yeah, exactly, yeah. All right. Yeah, we can refer to page 87 on the management letter, on page 87, towards the end, where we see issues relating to unpresented payment vouchers. I think some queries were made by the auditors, and I think you responded. But still now there are issues with 3 transactions. That is the one for Seku Auto Mechanics, another one for Cinderella Travels and Tours, and the other one for Gamtel. Those are still outstanding. What's the update on those 3?
Thank you very much. So, this unpresented payment voucher were on file during the audit process. So, the payment vouchers were resubmitted for their clarification. So, I don't know what is the reason why they are included in the report again, because it was submitted for further review.
Yes, it seems they queried 10 before.
Yes.
And then you responded by giving them the file that has the payment vouchers.
Yes.
And they came back and still say the 3 are still not resolved.
No, all the payment vouchers were submitted for review. To my notice.
Who submitted? Who submitted? It was it you or who did the submission?
I did the submission.
Yes, the auditors. Can you help us here so that we can get to the bottom of this here?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I mean, I think as you can rightly see in our response, we did not say it was not provided, but after defining what was provided was removed, and those 3 outstanding are still not provided. Yeah.
Yes.
To my knowledge, all the payment vouchers queried by the auditors were submitted.
All right. So what we're going to do is we would like to get these payment vouchers submitted to the National Assembly and with any other documents. Directly submitted to the Fpac. Get those 3 payment vouchers for 2017 and then make the submission with a covering letter to the National Assembly so that we can by tomorrow, because we're going to be dealing with you today, so by tomorrow you can make the submissions by tomorrow.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank you. Yes, members, we can continue. If you
Sorry, Honorable Chair, are we still on that one, or do we proceed?
it seems they said they submitted, but the auditors are saying that what they submitted was not all. So there are still 3 outstanding. So now he said he submitted. So now the resolution is for them to submit those missing things to the Parliament by tomorrow.
That's in order.
Yeah. So and then we can move to the.
I think the next one will be a related question. Because if you go to page 89, it's almost related to page 87.
Okay.
The auditors are saying that the payment vouchers were not numbered.
Yes.
And I think this can be one of the attributing factors why you have missing payment vouchers in your file.
Yes.
Because the moment you don't number your payment vouchers, you wouldn't be able to keep track of them.
Yes.
So the question would be, why was that the case?
Okay, basically, based on our management response, like Gbos stopped using the manual payment voucher numbering system as used in the vote charge book. Initially, we were using the vote charge book as our cash book, but we introduced an accounting system called QuickBook, and we use the check numbers as our reference number.
Yeah, that would be a reference number, but even if at all you are using QuickBooks, that should not stop you from having your payment vouchers.
Our payment vouchers are numbered. Okay.
Can I proceed? In the QuickBooks, do you have the opportunity of attaching all your supporting documents inside?
No.
So, which means it is unavoidable that you must keep a reference of the transactions and the history of all the evidences as supportive documents. So using QuickBooks is not a deterrent. It should come to improve the system.
Yes.
So the question would still come back. Why was it that the payment vouchers were not numbered?
Our payment vouchers are numbered using the checkbook number. Because if you look at our check numbers, our checkbook, it have a reference number. So every payment vouchers, there is how to call it, a check attached, and the check has a number. So you use that basis as our check, our voucher, payment voucher number.
Let's try to know the system. How many bank accounts do you maintain?
Like for our Gbos operational accounts, we only have one bank account. That's the Gbos main account, and other accounts are for service and other projects.
How do you maintain your payment vouchers? Do you maintain them on bank basis, or do you just have a running file for all of it?
Like it depends on the type of payment. Like for our operational account, that's our main account. We have a separate file for it. So all our payment vouchers related to operational of Gbos are maintained in one file. Other projects also, they are maintained differently. So any payment voucher that is raised by the bureau, there is a check attached, and that check number is regarded as a number for that particular voucher.
What I'm trying to get at here is to know the sequence of numbering. Do you maintain them based on the banks you are having, or do you maintain one running file?
No, we maintain based on the banks we are having.
Based on the banks you are having?
Yes.
So, which means if you raise a check with GTB,
yes,
a voucher will be generated, and then it will be filed in the GTB.
No, we don't have a commercial bank account.
You do everything.
We send
bank.
Yes.
Altogether. So now it depends on the nature or the classification of the account.
Yes.
So in that case, that's very, very simple. Why was it that the vouchers were not numbered?
Now what I'm saying, the vouchers are numbered using the checkbooks. For example, yeah, we have different accounts. Like you have the main operational accounts, we have other service accounts. So our main operational accounts is what these people audit. You understand? So any transaction, any payment voucher we raise, we attach a check number to it. Like we have separate checkbooks for each account. You understand? So any payment we raise under the main Gbos accounts, there is a check attached to it. That check is our numbering, and we and also we file our distribution date also.
To be honest, that is not efficient, because you cannot use the checkbook number as your reference. You cannot simply do that, because eventually what might happen is you will lose track. Payment vouchers are supposed to come in sequential number. What if now you discontinue one checkbook, or the checkbook got lost, or in the process it got damaged, you cannot continue. You will have a gap. Let me just learn. You will have a gap together. So the best thing you should have done was maintain the vouchers, make them alphanumeric, and then continue from 1, 2, 3 up to the end of the year. You close that for 2017, you go for 2018, you generate, and then they can follow each other. But if at all you want to follow the checkbook numbers, you have no assurance that your checkbook numbers will follow each other, because you don't have control over the issuing authority. Your last checkbook can be 89, $90 will be given to someone up to 150, then you come back again, you will have 151 to 200. So how would they follow each other sequentially? This is the question.
Point noted. I think it's very simple to serialize the the voucher numbers according to year. We look into that, and I think we will work this out. Thank you.
Okay.
I said the point is well noted. You know, your argument that the voucher numbers should be sequential is well noted. And if this is done by year according to individual years, it would solve the problem. Thank you. Would justify. They have a point. That is not right.
Our aim is not to argue. We are just there to improve on the system. Just a last question to that. So now suppose you have you made an RTGS payment.
Yes.
How do you really number that?
So the RTGS statement has a a reference number. Every RTGS payment has a reference number. So you use the reference numbers as our payment voucher. Of course, every checkbook has a sequential number.
So now, let's assume you are following the sequence of your checkbooks,
yes.
and intermittently,
Yes.
there was a transaction using RTGS.
Yes.
What would that do to the sequence?
No, because the RTGS, any payment more than $100,000, we use the RTGS payment modality.
No, that's not the question. The question is,
yes.
Let's assume now
Yes.
your checkbook numbers are following each other sequentially.
Yes.
And you do the filing in your payment vouchers like that.
Yes.
Intermittently,
Yes.
in the middle of the month,
Yes.
you have an RTGS followed by a check number.
Yes.
What would that do to the flow of your sequence?
So that RTGS will it depends on the the dates of the transaction, because our filing also is based on the dates. One we raise a payment, let's say today, the next payment will be tomorrow. So the RTGS will follow the last check number we raise.
Let me help you. The date is not part of your numbering.
Yes.
It's not part of it. Let's just answer the question.
Yes.
What would that RTGS do to the flow of your sequence? Will it allow the normal flow, or will it break it?
It will allow the normal flow.
It will
allow the normal flow.
Honestly, you're an accountant.
Yes.
Sorry. Let's get this straight. You are an accountant.
Yes.
And this is not you or me. This is about the books of the government.
Yes.
We are not on fault finding. We are there to enhance and improve on the process.
Yes.
You very well know
Yes.
that the system you have in house
Yes.
does not enable the proper maintenance of payment vouchers. The auditors came, they highlighted it. There was a management response.
Yes.
The best you can do is to resort back to best practice.
Yes.
Because what is happening now, currently, is the one giving room to the missing of payment vouchers, which they have also highlighted. If you were following a proper sequence, if one voucher is missing, you will notice it.
Okay.
Whether filed or not. But if you don't have a proper sequence, even if vouchers are missing, you would never know it. Because the numbering, there's a fault in it. So the best you can do is to improve on the system. Because we'll be waiting and we'll look at it in the prior period or the reports. If it comes back again, we'll pick it up. And when we pick it up at that level, it will be something different.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. Now, I think we can move. Chairman, now that you've actually seen where the issue actually is and the importance of actually having to have those sequencing is very important for easy tracking. And in fact, if you look at the Public Finance Act, actually it tells you that you need to be doing the coding for every payment voucher. So that is a weakness in the what you have right now, and we are trying to see how best you can resolve that issue. Now that you know what to do, so we expect going forward those sequences to be done on those payment vouchers as indicated by the auditors going forward. Yes, you have something. Go ahead.
I have something like this year we move from the QuickBook to the integrated financial manual information system that has a sequential number of payment vouchers. And hopefully next year we will not have issue of that.
Yes. That's excellent. Thank you. All right. And you see this is why we are trying to get everybody on board the IFMIS. That would resolve a lot of issues that auditors actually are querying. Thank you very much for that. Yes, we can continue from there. Members. Yes, unless if you want to release it.
Just have two more questions and I will give it to you. Let's check at page 91. The auditors are querying the procurement system. And if you look at the auditors for the comments, which is on page 91, it says that as per the management response, this was single source procurement as per the GPPA Act 2014, Section 44. However, we noted that the provision of the Act was not adhered to because there was no approval from GPPA. So, actually, what they are trying to say is, on page 90, there were two separate procurements which cumulated to a value of 450,890, and eventually there was no approval from GPPA. So, can we have clarity on that?
Can we read our management response on that?
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, go ahead. Yes, we can move the microphone. Yeah. That's fine.
Thank you very much. This particular activity, as we responded on the management response, was between us and the UN system, predominantly UNICEF. So what was demanded from them was about more than 30 personnel. I think it was more than that. and we could not share rooms. And the facilities needed was only possible with one supplier, that was Sindula. That at that end, to have that how to call it, number of people, away from their engagements, it was a retreat. So it actually took us
hold on. Did you take an oath the last time when doing presentation?
No, it was those in front.
Okay, then if you're going to have to testify, then you have to take the oath. So just give him 1 minute. He's going to administer the oath before you continue.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No. My name is Ibrahim. Ibrahim.
Do hereby affirm that.
Do hereby affirm that.
I will speak the truth.
I would speak the truth, the whole truth,
nothing but the truth,
and nothing but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you. Yes, you can continue.
Yeah, like I said, so it was an urgent one. The money came from UNICEF to transact this particular event. So it's only Sindula. That was the only appropriate place, as highlighted in the Act. In fact, we had a discussion with the auditors on this, and it was resolved. So it's still in there. That was the issue. It was a sole supplier. So the Act permits to use such an approach when it is like that.
Okay. Yes, Honorable.
The situation is, the auditors are saying like you didn't have any approval from GPPA. So that is the question. Why was it that approval was not sought from GPPA? Because in your deliberations, you've clearly stated that everything you were doing was in compliance with the GPPA Act of 2014. So why was it that you didn't complete the process and have the approval? That is the question.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. This was, in fact, I think it was not less than 2-3. It was very urgent. It was for the validation of one of the documents for the MICS. Sometimes in situations like it's very difficult. It makes it very difficult that the money came. I think it was around weekend. We needed to move on Sunday. So, I actually, in fact, I was consulted and I referred them to the act that this is definitely in order. In case auditors come, when this thing is cited, there shouldn't be much of a problem. This was the issue. You know, sometimes if this is part of your procurement plan, you see it coming, money is subvented, you can act before time. Or sometimes the way it comes, it makes it very difficult, especially if in such a situation.
Yes. Okay. Yes, okay. So are you in agreement with him that you broke the law by going ahead with the procurement without getting the approval?
Yes, I agree.
Now, what would you say that if Parliament asks you to pay that money now for breaking the law?
Well, I don't have a response to that. But what I would appeal to Parliament also in situations like that, can they advise me on a better course of action?
Well, okay. What we can advise you to do is you need the approval of GPPA. You have their numbers.
To call them on phone?
Of course, call them and they will advise you on what to do.
Okay. No problem.
You see, the laws are there for a reason. Because if you look at subsection 2, the same section you quoted, section 44, you only quoted subsection 1. That gives you the leeway for you to do that. But you forgot to read subsection 2, which is that you need to still have permission to do that.
Okay.
So you cannot generally take it on your own that because we don't have emergency procurement, for example, then I will just go ahead and do whatever I do. And we're going to caution you that this must stop. Again, this is not an issue only about Gbos, but we have also seen it in some other places. But we're going to start to make people pay. When you break the law, we're going to start to make people to pay, and whoever authorizes that payment, that transaction, will be paying back the money.
No,
going forward.
That is fine.
Okay, Honorable, can we move on?
Thank you, Honorable Chair. I think that's well stated. What I would do is now, I would just do my last intervention and allow members to take charge. From there, we can come with supplementary answers. I'm always particular about the assets of the government. So if you go to page 123, 123. Yes. You would find an addendum there. That is table 5.0. Annex A. In Annex A, the auditors are saying unconfirmed assets. Totaling to a value of around 1.5 million. So I think to start with, what we just want to know is how are fixed assets maintained in Gbos?
Okay, thank you very much.
Who is responsible? Because
procurement.
The maintenance of fixed assets register.
Yes, I maintain, take it back to accounts.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yes, what happened was we had an accountant before that doubles for both procurement and accounts. This was before my coming myself. But when we came after a few years, what I observed, so he was maintaining everything because he doubled as both procurement and accounts. But what we got to realize is the way it was maintained, it was very, very difficult to track things. Maybe some assets were moved, some were improperly recorded. So at the end, we had a meeting and it was adopted that we do away with what we have, do a fresh, try to update things, how to call it, based on what's actually happening. So this was done, everything was recorded. Now the problem we had with the auditors was they were not tagged. So each office was visited and what we had, the numbering and coding, everything was done. So we were to tag them one after the other. Now that assignment was given to myself and my assistant. So in the interim, my assistant left. I was also busy with writing my thesis and all of it. So it was difficult. The tagging did not happen. So they themselves saw the assets, but to them they said the law was if it's not tagged, it's not seen. So we had the discussion with them. In fact, we were invited to their offices. And when it was confirmed that the assets were there, the matter was resolved, but still it's surfacing. So the problem was about tagging them, which is actually done.
Ravucha, I would like to spend some time. Okay. Now we'll look at the process. This time around, I would like to pose this question to the chairman. Do we still mean to say that in Gbos, the procurement unit is the one still responsible for the maintenance of the fixed assets register? Is that the current status there?
If I may respond, sorry. Okay.
You don't have an answer. Thank you very much. Unfortunately, I'm not in the position to provide an answer to that.
Do you have the statistician general or his deputy?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes.
Similarly, as Dr. Guy said, I am not.
Then I would send it to the accountant. Mr. Accountant, who is responsible for the maintenance of the fixed assets register in Gbos currently, as it is obtained?
Currently, it is the procurement officer.
The procurement officer?
Yes.
As an accountant,
yes,
what would really be your advice with regards to internal control mechanisms? Should you allow procurement to buy and maintain fixed assets register or not?
Yes. As an accountant, and for us, the procurement officer will buy, maintain the fixed the assets. But when it comes to the accountability of the assets in our financial statements, I'm the one responsible. We calculate depreciation and charge it to the responsive accounts.
Well, let's talk about best practice now.
Yes.
You as the accountant.
Yes.
At the end of the year.
Yes.
You update your fixed assets register.
Yes.
You do any additions.
Yes.
To the opening balance.
Yes.
You add them.
Yes.
Subtract any disposals.
Yes.
Run your annual depreciation.
Yes.
Add it to the accumulated.
Accumulated.
Come back with your net book value.
Yes.
Which means that the fixed assets register is very, very important.
In our account.
So I'll push you the question again.
Yeah.
In accordance with best practice and efficient internal control mechanisms, is it normal for the procurement unit to control or be responsible or to be the custodian of the fixed assets register?
It depends how you interpret it. Like in our case in Gbos, the procurement officer will procure the assets, have a fixed assets register, the token and everything. When it comes to the accountability, like the cost is passed to the, we identify the cost of each of the fixed assets, do our calculation, and charge it to the how to call it, responsive accounts in our end of year financial statements. I know it's not a bad practice because we should be the custodians of the fixed assets.
Maybe the auditor can help us here. No. Auditor, can you come with your advice before we further the discussion? And what you realize during your audit process?
I mean, honorable member, I think maybe Marek what need to understand the question is about not what is the process at Gbos. You're asking him what is the best practice. And if you are to ask what is the best practice, of course, it's not the procurement officer who should be the custodian of the fixed asset, because he is the one who bought the assets. He cannot be the custodian of the fixed asset. As simple as that. Now, if you want me to still go back to the finding that we raised, what we are saying, we could not confirm I mean, it's easy for us to see this is a laptop and a laptop, but if it is not referenced, we cannot confirm whether that is the actual asset. So it is important that the assets are referenced, and then we use that reference to confirm whatever laptop or whatever asset they are showing us, whether it's the actual asset or not. Yeah.
Yes. You want to say something before you comment? Yeah.
Because generally, if you don't tag assets, you will not surely differentiate between personal property and those that belongs to the entity. Kind of commingling personal property to that of the entity. And it's not good practice. We've had series of that as part of audits of other institutions. Where people say, no, this one is mine. But then if there is no tagging, then you won't know. So it's about control. And the second point, where he says the procurement officer is responsible for both procuring and keeping, also a bad practice. Of course, the procurement has a role to officer has a role to play in the procurement process. But once it is purchased, it is the responsibility of the accounting officer to ensure that he maintains and he also kept those information and wherever they are. Then he is able to track and locate each and every fixed asset.
Thank you very much. Yes. Did you take an oath? Okay, then you have to swear before you can. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Let me see.
I, 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂.
I, 𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂𝒂.
Do hereby affirm that
Do hereby affirm
I will speak the truth,
I'll speak the truth,
the whole truth,
the whole truth,
nothing but the truth.
nothing but the truth.
So help me.
So help me God.
Yes, Lavin, you can go ahead.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I just want to clarify on the custody of assets. The procurement unit is not the custodian of the assets. They are custodian of the records of the assets. The custodians are the individual staff who are having the assets in their possession in their offices. What we have is that each officer in your office, the list of the things you have in your office are with the procurement unit, laptop, the computers, the printers, they are all there. And the officer in that office is responsible for those assets. He's the custodian, and he has to account for them, and they even sign for them that they are the custodian of those assets. But the records of the assets are with the procurement unit. So that's what I want to clarify.
Okay, thank you. I think that we know that. We are not talking about custodian of the asset. The custodian, basically, when you buy, then you give it to somebody who signs it. And that you buy this machine for me, or you buy this desk for me, or you buy this chair for me.
Yeah.
That's the custodian. We are not talking about the custodian.
Yeah.
We are talking about the list, the entire assets of the institution. Who has that custodian? That's exactly what we are talking about, not the custodian of the asset itself. Yes, Mas, you have something? Or you want to say something? Yes, give her the microphone.
Sure.
Thank you very much. I'd like to refer you guys to your financial manual that states that for the purchasing of fixed assets, upon the receipt of the asset, the finance officer shall raise and complete a fixed asset form. The details in the fixed asset form shall include a list, and it has a list of all the things that should be recorded. And it also states that the finance officer is responsible for the fixed asset register. So if you are responsible for the fixed asset register, I believe you are also responsible for managing assets.
Okay. Are we together? So that is their own financial manual, their own. You've heard what she read about your own financial manual, right?
Yes, I heard what she said.
Yes.
So I know that the fixed assets register is our responsibility as a finance officer. We capture all the details of the fixed assets, like the date, the cost, rate of depreciation, and all those stuff is maintained by the finance officer. But also, not only that, the procurement officer also has a record of every asset USD purchased in the office. But you are responsible for the maintenance of the fixed assets.
Okay. But thank you. I mean, I think it's natural that the procurement officer would have those records, of course. But the duty bearer here is you, according to your own finance manual, is the finance department or the accounts department that needs to have control of those things there. Because when you're doing at the end of the year, you are doing your, exactly. Yeah. Yes. So that one, you don't go to the procurement to find out the amount. You should have the information.
Yeah, you have that information
exactly,
in the system.
Exactly. Yeah. In the system. Exactly. Yeah.
Yes.
So okay. So now I think if you go by what the audit is actually saying, now this is your responsibility to maintain those. Okay. Now, what is the situation of the asset register right now? How do you keep those assets in register? How do you keep them? Is it manual? Is it automated? How do you keep them?
Both.
You mean you do both?
Yes.
Okay. So do you have a list? For example, and if I have the list of the assets, you'll be able to provide me with the list of the assets you have?
Yes, yes.
Okay. So that's also number 2 request. Tomorrow when you are sending those missing vouchers, also you send along the asset register as well with that. Yes, you want to continue?
Yeah, just no. Come. It's a different question. Okay. Okay. To conclude on that part, I think we need to establish one thing. That currently the procurement unit is the one responsible for the maintenance of the fixed assets register. This is obvious because when the question was posed, the procurement officer took the floor and answered the questions. And the way he narrated it exactly what he said was the function of the accountant. I think we should not dampen the reality that there is a weakness in the internal control. Why are we concerned about the fixed assets register? We all know that over 60 to 70% of the national budget always goes into procurement. And many of this procurement comes in non-current asset natures. If you look at many of the government accounts that are presented to this August Assembly, there is no fixed assets register. The Office of the Auditor General on annual basis will be following them. It's like when they buy, they are done with it. And those fixed assets have value. they are benefiting the organization. At the end of the day, in fact, even if they are scrapped, they can be sold at their carrying value, and that can come as revenue to the government. But if there is no efficient control mechanism on it, then it becomes personal belonging. And who will lose? It is the state. So I think this one would go to the management. We would urge you to comply with the recommendations of the National Audit Office to make sure that you segregate the duties. Let the procurement officer be responsible for the procuring of the items. Once he does the procurement and does the delivery, fine. For his own personal records, he can maintain as references. But the coding, the tracking, the tracing, and the maintenance of those fixed assets is wholly and solely the responsibility of the accountant. Because if not, at the end of the year, when you prepare your financial statements, are you really confident that the figures you are presenting represent the true and fair nature of your organization? No. You know, so, Honorable Chair, what I would just like to recommend is, because still now 1.5 billion is a significant value. If you compare it to the total value of their non-current assets, which is around 3.9, which means we are talking about 40 to 45% of their total non-current assets. So I think
it's significant.
It's significant. So at our level, later we can see, and then how best do we engage them before the next audit. If need be, we do some verification, but let us follow up with the findings of the auditor to ensure that they are maintaining it properly, and then they are tagged so that it will not come back again.
Sure. We're going to do that, and we also make a request for them to send the asset register. Yes, Honorable.
Good morning once again. When you go to page 118, which shows the differences between the EasyPay software and printout hard copy. Already there is a rule of 9.1 of Gbos financial regulation states, which states, okay, we can go through that individually. And it was also noted differences in salaries between the hard copy, printout, and soft copy EasyPay. However, the printout was in line with the bank statement amount, detail of sample are in Annex P. Okay, but the findings by the auditors, it was realized, they noted the differences between the easy payroll system and entries in the cash book. This was in respect of the loan deductions and recoveries respectively, which details are also in below. And on page 119, so which there are some implications, which is this would lead to difficulty to determine the correct balances, which might increase the risk of financial malpractice, and which the priority is high. Yes, there is a recommendation. So what is the management doing with that, or the finance?
Okay. Can you read our management response?
Yes. Yeah, you can go ahead, yes.
So the management was aware of the differences that exist between the AGPA software and printout of salary. This is caused by the defects in the batteries of the server where the ECPage is hosted. The same things apply to loan recoveries and payroll deductions. So the action we took was we informed the developer of the software, and an upgraded version has already been done, and this will be installed as soon as it is really available, and it is done.
Are you sure it is done?
Yeah, it is done.
What is the evidence?
Huh?
You mean it is done?
Yeah, it is done, yes.
Do you have an evidence for that?
The evidence of the upgrading of the system.
Yes, that it is done.
Yes, yes. Maybe we can provide you that.
Does it appear in another management letter?
No. Because 2019, 2020, 2021 is not yet audited.
That's what I mean. Will it appear?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much, Honorable. Now, Malik, going back to the same question, you see, when you look at the response of management response,
yes,
what you are responding to actually is a hardware issue. But on the other hand, you are also saying it's a software issue. So this thing doesn't match. The CMOS battery you are referring to in the server,
yes,
it tracks the time.
Yes.
It's a timestamp in the server.
Yes.
That talks about the time. And that is hardware, purely hardware. This is independent of the software that is actually installed. That is the payroll software that is actually installed in the machine. So if there's a defect, the defect must be in the payroll system itself, not the server itself.
So that's why the developer was alerted, and an upgraded version of the payroll has been done, and definitely this will not appear in our management letters from 2020-2021.
So how about the battery of the server you're talking about? Was the battery changed or what happened?
Yeah, it was changed at that time.
Okay. Now this payroll software you have.
Yes.
It seems I read somewhere that it was installed in 2014, if I remember. It was done in 2014. Is that right?
Yeah, 2014. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So what kind of test was done by Gbos to ascertain that is actually giving you what you're looking for in terms of the testing of all the parameters that you actually have? During the testing, before you actually commission it, did you do the testing that was required to ensure that everything is actually according to what you wanted?
Yes, we do the testing. All our requirements were met at that time.
Yeah, but in the 2017, yes, then there's an issue.
There's an issue in
2018 also there was an issue.
Yes.
And 2019 also there was an issue.
Unless I look at the management this thing. Yeah, yes. 2017, 2018, 2019, there was issues.
Same issues.
Yeah, same issues.
Yeah, so we mean the balance, there's a difference in the balances.
Yeah, there was a difference in the balances. So, and that was rectified because we invited the developer and an upgraded version of the payroll has been done, and to be honest, it is taken care of.
Is now?
Yes.
Okay, then perhaps maybe the testing that you did, probably the testing was insufficient, because normally one a software that's actually financial management software. There are a series of tests that you actually do. Generating reports. You know when you build a chart of accounts, yes, sometimes if they don't report to the right line, yes, when you generate a report, you may have some difference in your reports. So it's good that that issue is now put to bed and is resolved. Thank you. Now, yes, Honorable. Yeah, go ahead, Cham.
Also, with the lack of disclosure notes, it was found out that non-disclosure of accounts balances on the notes of the financial statements are as follows. It is in a box, of course, which amounts to $4,648,560 million.
Which page is that?
It's page 112. In which the priority is high on the implications. And then, of course, there was a recommendation by the auditor. And the management report is not satisfactory to me because the response was, this observation is noted. Was there any action after that? And the action to be taken is detailed explanatory notes to the accounts balance are already included in the financial statement. Can you respond?
Yeah, if you look at the most of the accounts, most of these account balance they highlighted is already disclosed in the financial statement. Yes.
Still on that point?
Yes.
Okay. So that I will refer you to the relevant pages in the notes of the accounts.
Yes.
Let's start with page 25. If you look at page 112, are you at page 25?
25, yes.
Okay, we'll correlate the two, huh?
Yes.
Okay. In page 112, you will realize that in 2017,
yes,
what the auditors are claiming notes 14, which is the deferred income and the other payables.
Yeah.
From 90,527 to 0.
Has a balance. We treated them as deferred income. We match the revenue to the related expenditures, the balance that we term as deferred income.
We understand, because you are using now the accruals basis.
Yes.
It means you receive the money, but you haven't implemented the budget.
Yes.
You'll implement it next year.
Yes.
So now, why is it that the donor or the sponsors or the responsible body where you receive the money from,
yes,
it's not highlighted?
But if you look at if you go to the income we receive, all the monies we receive from various donors, we are highlighted.
True.
But the related expenditures are not. Maybe that.
I can help you there again.
Yes.
If you go to the income statement,
yes,
everything you stipulated there,
yes,
was the revenue received during the year,
yes,
and expended.
Yes.
That doesn't include what you receive and you are yet to expend.
Yes.
So that's the question we are asking here.
Yes.
And again with the other payables as well.
Yes. You know, like the change of this accounting policies from accrual basis, from cash basis to accrual basis, require a lot of judgment and estimates. Yes, and this was our first time adaptation of this.
Provides a subvention to Gbos, which covers mainly personal expenditure. So the consolidated budget we have that we approve covers all the programmatic activities, whether subvented by government or other donor sources. That's the one we approve in January.
Yeah, but that the Minister of Finance. I think you are on the Minister of Finance. I think. How would they know this is exactly what you guys need in your operations? That would be connected to the subvention that they give you every year, but because that needs to be captured on the DB for finance, on the budget entry for finance. It needs to be captured. So during the process of the year, or let's say the Gbos plans to hire more people or plan to do a lot of things as far as the staff are concerned. So how would the ministry know that this is exactly what you guys need when, if you understand what I'm trying to say?
I do. I do understand what you're saying. I'm just responding to the reality. You know, the budgets that are presented to us for approval are presented at the start of the new year. That's at least for last year. So whether the way it should happen, you know, is something else. In fact, we've been pushing for this, but it has not been presented to us before then. So Malik here may want to explain.
Exactly. Maybe he can explain why is that.
Okay. Thank you, Mr. Mbao, for the question. In regards to budgets, like normally Minister of Finance will send a circular indicating that all subvented institutions will submit their budget to the Minister of Finance. we normally prepare our budgets. Let's say currently we already prepared the 2023 budget and submitted to the Minister of Finance. So normally Minister of Finance will invite us for bilateral to see whether they approve our budget or not. Sometimes they will not call us for bilateral. So at the end of the year, at the beginning of the year, I myself will work to Minister of Finance and ask for the approved budget of Gbos. But sometimes it's very difficult. Sometimes they don't even call us for bilateral. Right now, we submit our budget. Last year, we submitted our budget, and there was no bilateral between Gbos and Minister of Finance. So normally, what we normally do every Monday, we just release 2.5 million to us that cover our operational expenses. And also sometimes even they transfer less amount. Because for example, last year they said they approved 46 million for us. So meaning that every month they should release 3 million.
3 million, yeah.
So normally they will release 1.5 to 1 million, which definitely affects our operation.
Okay.
Yes.
Now, the current budget you prepare for 2023.
Yes.
Is your board aware of that budget?
Yes.
No. Don't contradict yourself, Malik.
Yes. Are you, Chairman, are you aware of the budget that he submitted to the Minister of Finance? Are you aware of the budget?
No. Something was sent to the budget, to the board. It has not been approved. The board has not sat over it, and I had to demonstrate with. I had to demonstrate them for not doing things on time.
Well, you see, the reason why I'm asking all these questions, it seems you guys are putting the cart before the horse. And, you know, operation-wise, it's always important you do your budget and let the board takes a look at the budget before you actually, even on your bilateral, I think it's important for the board to be there to defend, to be able to defend you. Because when they're going to look at you as an accountant, they say, oh, maybe this is junior staff. And you, as the accountant, you are dealing with the director of budget, or maybe you'll be dealing with the PS at finance. There's a likelihood that they may overpower you. And you know your operational expenses more than them. So it's always important then you prepare your budget and let the board be in the know. Then whenever you are called for bilateral, then the board can go with you to be able to defend what you really want to do. Because otherwise, like you say, instead of giving you 3 million every month, they may give you 1.5. And in fact, you are at the mercy, and you don't have any control over that. And the board should be part of that. If they give you money and that's not enough for your operations, the board should be aware. And the board should be able to take that with the minister himself or the PS of finance. They should be able to do that. But at your own level, I'm not so sure if you'll be able to convince the PS or the minister to be able to do otherwise. I'm not so sure if you're able to do that. So what I'm saying is, like, you do the things on time. You prepare in advance and discuss with the board and let the board see what you're trying to do. And when you go for bilateral, maybe it will go better for for you. And when I look at the accounts, I see a lot being done, by other institutions, not the Gambia government. In fact, your entire budget, if you look at it, maybe 40% or more is being done by somebody else, and that is not sustainable. So we need to ensure that Gbos actually has what it takes from the government to be able to do their work. And to do that, the board must be at the forefront to be able to defend the Gbos budget. But without that, it's going to be really very difficult, because you can't keep depending on somebody else to give you money to do certain things. That's not sustainable. Okay, so I would suggest that you engage the board more in terms of your budget, so that they can understand really some of the predicaments. Because your operational expenses itself, you give you 1.5 million. I'm not. And then you have to be looking around for money to be able to do what. I don't think that is really very good enough. So let's ensure that we do that. Yes, go ahead. Yeah.
Just on the same point, I just want to bring the statistics. If you look at your operations, your survey cost, I think, is the primary. That's the activity which drives most of the cost. But on annual basis, if you look at the government subvention, it's never adequate to cover the survey cost. And as the chairman was saying, in 2019, 60% of your budget came from donor support. In 2018, 54% of your budget came from what? Donor support. And in 2017, 56% of your budget comes from donor support. And if you look at the survey cost itself, consistently on annual basis, it's taking between 60 to 70% of your what? Operational cost. And basically, this is the primary responsibility of Gbos. That is what you are mandated to do. So now, he have a very valid point there. But I would say this. In-house, what strategies do you have to ensure that you become financially independent? Because if not, the moment those funds stop, you will cease operation. So, on the wheelchair? Yes.
Yes.
Okay, I use the mic. Okay, great. Or countries with national planning commissions know the importance of numbers. The statistical offices are always fully funded. The only way
we can have resources to start applying for consultancies. But whenever we apply for consultancies, the agencies will say government institutions cannot apply for consultancies. So the only option we have is to rely on donor funding, and the only fund activities they're interested in. When the MDG started, the SDGs now, the only fund activities will generate indicators for them. So as you said, when this funding ceases or stops, we'll be in crisis. Meaning that other than official statistics, tourism, GDP, transport, communication, I don't think Gbos can produce any other information for the Gambia like maternal mortality, infant childhood, because one survey alone can cost $30 million. One survey can cost $30 million. Our subvention could be 3 million, 2.5, 1.5, up to 1 at times. So now there is no way out. Gbos could be financially independent. The only option we have to be fully funded by government. Now the AU have started to allocate, though that's very small, percentage of their, how to call it again, of their budget to to national statistical offices, about 0.05% of the budgets should be allocated to NSOs. But unless we receive funds from government, Gbos can never be financially independent. And when these donor agencies stop their funding, we doom from this country. We'll never have data or information. Like currently we're struggling, like the census is about to come. April 2013, we're still struggling for the mapping exercise to get funding for the mapping. Still we could not get that millions. They're expecting some funding from the World Bank. Still that is yet to be approved. So in that case, based on your question, there is no way out. Gbos can be financially independent.
Oh, okay. Now, do you have the Gbos Act with you there?
Yes, I'm happy to be, because
does anyone have it there?
Yeah. Maybe someone could have it.
Yes, if it is there, yes. Look at the funding. How is Gbos funded?
Yes.
On that Act of Parliament.
Okay.
Can you take a look at it, and you can read it. Mali, you can check. Do you have it?
Yeah, this guy is having some.
Oh, okay, no, that's fine. Put it for Mali to read the funding of Gbos from the Act of Parliament. Left. Yes.
Left, push hard.
Just push it. Yes.
Comment on here.
Yes. Yes, you have. Yes. Yes, you want to take an oath. Yeah, go ahead. Just give me a minute.
I tell them Yeah, indeed. Yeah. It makes you, you know, it just demonstrate more younger read. Funding. Funding.
You took the information last.
No, me.
I, Mohammed El Jani.
I, Mohammed El Jani.
Do hereby affirm that.
Do hereby affirm that.
I will speak the truth.
I will speak the truth.
The whole truth.
The whole truth.
Nothing but the truth.
Nothing else but the truth. So help me God.
Thank you.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah, you have that? Okay, let's finish with Malik and then we come to you. Have you seen it? The funding of Gbos.
So, if you look, based on the statistical card, the financial provision of the Bureau, the funds of the Bureau shall consist of money appropriated from time to time by the National Assembly. The funds of the Bureau shall consist of the following: money appropriated from time to time by the National Assembly, grants, gift and donation from any source approved by the Secretary of State, provided that the terms and conditions attached to the grant or gift are not inconsistent with the functions of the Bureau. Any money that may come payable to the Bureau for services performed by the Bureau under this Act, and such other monies as may accrue to the Bureau under this action.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's all I wanted you to read. Deputy Director, you see, Parliament actually has given the powers to be able to do consultancy for a fee.
Okay, one day the Act is currently been reviewed, and I think it's at the level of Parliament or the Minister of Justice. It's just to like that the Act is almost obsolete. But as you said, government, we are empowered by the Act, or Parliament has empowered us to do consultancies on black and white, on paper. Excellent. nice, but it doesn't work like that.
Okay, how does it work?
The UN agencies who give out the consultancies, they will not give consultancies to national statistical offices. They will not, I repeat, give consultancies to NSOs. When you apply it, the first thing when they're doing shortlisting is to remove statistical agencies. In fact, they even further. If they are given an assignment like to conduct demographic and health survey, a mix or a survey on child labor disability, if we put management fees, fees for the, at least to assist the program, to buy cars for internet, among others, fuel for the generator. It is moved. They will say that this is responsibility of the Gambia government. They cannot provide the money for you to have indicators on child mortality, disability, and AIDS. Providing the money to help your government. So that being the case, you should not charge us management fees and remove it. So consultants, this is why whenever we apply it, we are on sublisters because they said government institutions should not apply for consultancies.
So you mean then there is no other consultancy that you can apply in the private sector? None.
My thinking, I could be wrong. I've been in the business. I work in other countries outside the Gambia, but with due respect to many private sector institutions, they would prefer to work with individuals and governments. Do you know what I mean? Not to go into details.
No, I don't know what you mean, but I do know one thing. I do know, and one thing is certain. If you don't swing, you will never hit the ball.
No, what I'm saying is we've applied a couple of times
yes,
to consultancies advertised by private institutions. But let me just be clear. We are the only institution in the Gambia. No private firm has a sampling statistician. No private firm in the Gambia has a demographer. No private firm can do analysis in CS Pro data, which we don't have the capacity. But I had, for instance, an institution called Blue Gold Solutions. I can use Doctor's Farm.
Yeah.
For example, I put a consultancy in the market for $100,000. This is my experience. I would expect to have at least $20,000 back. But how can a government institution win a consultancy, and how can they work out in such a way that you get back $20,000 of that money? Impossible. So many private institutions, NGOs, and many organizations would prefer to deal with individual private consulting firms, either an individual or a firm, than a government agency, in which once the money hit their accounts, how can they work around for you to get yourself the cake? That's the problem.
Yes, I think, you know,
no,
perhaps
doctor, I'm in recorded. I'm telling you what I know. I'm in this business.
Mr. Deputy General,
yeah.
I think you need to spread your net. Knocking once and the door is closed doesn't mean that door is closed forever. I cannot be a consultant. No. I'm sorry.
We are not here for we are not here to tap your knowledge on that. But as we have only two options. Other than the form provided by government, donor support is only consultancies. Now tell us, how can we penetrate the market?
Okay, that's going to be another discussion, not here. Yeah, I'm just trying to get you to know that as far as Parliament is concerned, we have given you the powers to be able to extend, go beyond these two, government and this donor agencies. Because I tell you, the donor agencies is very risky. Because the day you ask and you don't have it, you are in trouble. And that's what we are trying to say, that maybe you need to start thinking outside the box.
Yeah, let me tell you the riskiness you've mentioned. Last week, there is a program called Multiple Indicators Cluster Survey, usually funded by UNICEF globally. Now they said they could no longer fund it from HQ. Countries need to do their own resource mobilization and do it. That that survey provide almost 40-50 indicators, which we can use our NDP to measure many national goals, which we can use to report for the Gambia for almost 50 SDG goals, as well as in the 2030. But now, as you said, now UNICEF is saying they can no longer fund it, meaning that if you don't have funding, the Gambia for the NDP, the next long-term vision, we might not able to measure many of the indicators unless we have funding. Agreed. We need to have a strategy in which we have a way of mobilizing resources.
That's what I'm saying. No, that's what I'm asking for. Hang on a sec. Asking for.
Hang on a sec.
Yeah.
Can you tell us this? The only options we have is consultancies.
Okay.
That's the only option.
That's fine. Before I get to Fofana, maybe I will refer you to, maybe you consult with the University of the Gambia, MDI, and the rest, to find out how are they doing their consultancies to generate funding for them. You can consult with them. Yeah. Well, that's fine. Yes, Fofana, go ahead.
It's
okay. It seems that you know everything then. Okay. Okay. Yes. Okay. Go ahead, Fofana.
Doctor, I would still be on the Honorable Chair's point. I think you have been brutally honest with the truth. Very frank. And we'll probe into it a little bit. You said like many of these agencies would not like to work with government institutions because the tax they'll be carrying out is the traditional role of government. But they would rather prefer to deal with private individuals. This is the issue now. Do you have private individuals working in Gbos who have consultancy firms and they do consultancy? I just want to be direct because you were direct in your response. Sustainably. Yeah.
What I know is I'm not aware of any Gbos staff who has a private consulting firm or he is part of a consortium. What I know is, to be very frank with you, somebody could have an assignment in which he has no idea about sampling. The only sampling statistics, as I tell you, are at Gbos. This individual can consult that individual on a personal basis, not through the statistics in general. So that individual or the consulting firm can engage that person and to do the sampling for him, as well as the other aspects of the engagement, be it design of the questionnaire, the screen and the analysis or report writing. That exists in almost all statistical agencies in Africa. It does exist.
Okay. My next question would be, such assignments where individual staff of Gbos will be consulted, don't they fall within the traditional role of Gbos as well?
I told you earlier, there are certain surveys, not traditional rules. Gbos or statistical agencies are the only institutions that have the mandate, or if you just look at our acts generally, not only Gbos, that has the mandate to conduct surveys in which nobody can doubt the possibility with numbers because of the methods and the procedures they follow. So those agencies who contracted out those assignments know very well that this institution or this agency cannot do this. But as I said, because of ABC, they will engage them, and these people will come back and engage others within the bureau. So at times, numbers are produced, the consultant will sit here and present figures, for example, on disability. Example, you go to, how to call it, again, pipeline must see people begging, go to Parliament, see people begging, go to Kairaba supermarket and interview few people. From that, how can you estimate the prevalence of disability in the country? Capital wrong. That's not English, but the data will be wrong. But whatever presented to this, they will prefer to take those numbers for one thing or the other, and to the extent that when these numbers are in the market, it brings confusion. You say prevalence rate of X%, and no one can tell you how they arrive at these numbers. Like if you look at the Gambia, there was a problem in 2015. There was a maternal mortality figure being circulated up to the Gambia. They reported. At the UN, the Gambia government saying that maternal mortality has reduced to 239. And the survey they conducted was a fistula survey. And in the fistula survey, there was no maternal mortality. So how do you estimate maternal mortality? And this numbers was in the document presented by the Gambia government in 2014-2015. And maternal mortality in the Gambia has dropped from 730 to 239. So these are some of the problems that exist with these private farms. Whenever the meteorologists are examining, you know there's a problem, but the client doesn't care. As far as he gets what he wants or she wants, then he's fine.
Yes, go ahead. Respond to that. I would still go back to my question because the issue at hand is how does Gbos makes more funds? We are particular about this because we know the relevance Gbos is playing in society.
Yes.
And as a parliament, we want you to be fully funded.
Okay.
From your explanation, one can conclude that when it comes to capacity, Gbos have it.
Oh yeah.
When it comes to competency, Gbos have it.
They do.
You have the structures. You have all the resources required.
Yes.
You are not in competition with any private firm.
Yeah.
This is my personal opinion.